Magical Mystery School, and thank you so much for coming back. Well, we're going to do Astrology Lesson 20. Wow, I'm so excited. When I started this, I thought, oh, I'll do 12 lessons and see how it goes. Here I am up to 20. My goodness. Okay, so this is kind of aspects take two. And let me just, if you look at part one, which is the one right before this, 19, when I said quintiles, I said dividing the chart up into 7. I meant to say 5. So teacher made a boo-boo. Oh no. Okay, so sorry about that. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to kind of go over the same thing, but looking at the wheel, because I really do believe that right side of your brain there, that nonverbal part, when that sees this geometry and sees the images and stuff like that, it gets it. So we want to, being a good astrologer means having both sides of your brain working in tandem. So I think without any further ado, I'll put you on pause and we'll bring the camera down. Okay, here we go again. And I wanted to just show this to you one more time. I'll lift it up there a little bit. So if you want to make a screenshot, there you go. Okay, so here's our wheel, as you guys are getting used to. And I've got it just set up on the generic with Aries on the first house cusp. So, and I just left the horizon line there. It kind of makes it a little bit easier to see. So the conjunction, and just, whoop, wherever you find this conjunction, whatever house it may be in, and I'm just using 2 planets here, Venus and Pluto. Ooh, that's kind of hot. Wherever it is, just remember that this house is going to have more importance with a conjunction in there. And then sometimes you're going to have, 3 planets in a house and even more. Just remember, you want to have at 5 at tops 10 degrees between the two planets. And if you've got 3 like this, it doesn't matter. The 2 outer ones can be 11 or 12 degrees, as long as there's this bridge planet in between to sort of make that connection. So it's okay if those are, they'll be conjunct because they have that bridge planet there. Okay, and so just remember, the conjunction is our most powerful. Look at the planets like this one, with Pluto and Venus, that's, like I said, is a little, Venus is going to get pretty overwhelmed by Pluto. Pluto's going to really put the muscle on her for sure. Okay, so now when we go to oppositions, that's going to be where we have planets on either side. And just like we talked about in our polarities, 1st and 7th house are oppositions. We can put any planets in there. I'm just picking those 2. 7th and 8th, or 2nd and 8th house are oppositions, 3rd and 9th, etc. Go back and look at those polarity talks. And this is where we're really kind of seesawing back and forth between energies. So if you had something like this, you might be, more comfortable over in this Venus side, but say you got to get some work done, you don't have a whole lot of time to do it. You can't sit around and namby-pamby Venus, oh, I think I'll do my hair first before I work on my work. Pluto is going to be charging in there and like, let's get her done, right? And really put the muscle on it. So anyway, and just remember, also look at those houses. Which house is it in? That opposition will give that color and that flavor to it. Okay, the next one I want to look at or talk about is the square. All right, so now the square is 90 degrees. So can you see there's the opposition right there? And then we've just literally you know, if there's an opposition there, then we've just cut that in half to make the 90 degrees. Now, like I said, this one, if you've got planets on this angle and a planet on this angle of that square, they're going to struggle a bit more against each other. They're going to just find it a little bit tougher to deal with each other. Now remember, with a square, this is where our modalities and stuff really come in handy, because no matter what, you're going to have all these, so these are all the fixed signs are going to square each other. So square, you know, Taurus fixed, Leo fixed, Scorpio fixed, Aquarius fixed, square, 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 right? And if we switch this, Capricorn, cardinal signs, Libra, cardinal, Cancer, cardinal, Aries, cardinal. So you're going to get that same thing. And then with the mutable, Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, all mutable signs. I got distracted because when I look up at the screen, the square isn't a perfect square anymore. Sorry about that. This is as good as I can do with the distortion with the cameras and such. So keep that in mind. If you've got planets in mutable signs, look to see if they square each other. Now they still need to be within that orb, you know, 5 to 10 degrees, somewhere in there. But, you know, just be aware of that when you're looking through your chart. Now, let me also point out, if you've got planets that are on 3 sides of this square, okay, what you're going to have, so this is a mutable square. And let me also mention that mutable squares are a lot easier to deal with than a fixed square. Fixed squares, then you're looking at people who are having troubles with addictions and things like that. Mutable squares, people can kind of play with that struggle a little bit better. But if you've got 3 planets that are all squaring each other like this, then you've got the T-square. Can you see that there's the T and then the square? So you're going to have 2 planets that are in opposition to each other, and then a 3rd planet that squares it. Now, the thing about the T-square to be aware of, that you're going to have this open angle down here. So you want to actually, to help you work with that T-square, with that frustration of energy, you want to actually help your energy move out into this open area, so that T-square can get can actually go somewhere. You can use that energy for something. Now, the last one I want to mention is the grand square, or it's also called the grand cross. So there again, we've got a planet in all 4 of the mutable signs. They would have to be in orb of each other. But again, you're going to have that frustration, but this is going to be the maximum frustration, because there's nowhere for the energy to go. All it can do is go around and round and round and round inside of there. Now, admittedly, that's one of the beauties of becoming older. Anybody out there, yay, that's getting older? You learn how to deal with these things, and that's part of your growth process. That's what squares are all about, is to help you grow and become a better human being, basically. Now, another thing to watch out for is, let's say you've got a sun at like 28 degrees Scorpio and a Jupiter that's at, let's say 1 or 2 degrees Aries. Okay, so Scorpio, 1 to 2 degrees Pisces. So you would say, well, that's not the fixed to fixed. This is actually water to water. But since this is 28 degrees and this is, let's say, at 1 degree Pisces, they're still only 3 degrees apart. So that's called an out of sign square. Now it's still active, you still have that square, but it's not as potent as the ensign square. It's a little bit less. So keep that in mind too, that you can have out of sign squares or any of these when I talk about trions too here in a minute. Okay, and then just to show you, I wanted to just give you a visual on this. Here's that square, and then we're just going to rotate this, okay? And this gives you your 45, 45, 45. So this would be, if you were looking at a point in, say, 15 Capricorn, it's going to be right at the beginning of Sag, 45 degrees away. And then that sesqui square is going to be down here at 135 degrees. So I just wanted to show you that so you can see how that square keeps dividing itself up. Okay. Now, and remember those semi-squares and sesqui-squares are just a little bit more difficult. You tend to try really hard. Now here's a trion. The this is our trion and will be our sextile. And notice that this is going to be earth, 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 right? Air, air, air. Water, water, water. Fire, fire, fire. So that's where your elements come in, and your elements really show a real smooth flow of energy. So if you've got a bunch of planets in Sag and then some in Aries, that's going to serve you pretty well. You're going to work pretty well with that for sure. So very, very nice there. Now, the sextile is that we take this and we literally just rotate this whole thing around. And there you can see we've got 60 degrees now between each one of these points. And this is also a Star of David. And you can see how Sag would sextile Aquarius. And if you had Sag, it would sextile Libra. So air to fire, air to fire. All right, and all of these are like that. If we move this earth to water, Capricorn to Scorpio, earth to Pisces, earth to water again. So that shows you how the sextiles work. And also, just to show you also, if I cover up all these points, remember our element signs? There was a line, fire was a solid triangle, right, like that. And then air just had the line through it. There's that line. And the same thing with a water sign, or the earth was the triangle pointing, or water was the triangle pointing down. And earth had that line through it. And there's that line. So it's just a demarcation of that. Okay. The last little thing I want to show you before I sign off here is that just remember when you're looking at any of these, if you've got, say you've got something in Capricorn, you go 30 degrees on either side of that. That's that semi-sextile on either side. But then just notice after that, you go 30 degrees more and you're going from earth to water. That's your sextile. Let me put so we can see, always have that reference point. Okay, earth to water, sextile. Pisces and Scorpio are both water. Capricorn to Aries, Capricorn to Libra. Cardinal, cardinal, cardinal. What's that? That's going to be your square. All right. Now we've got Capricorn to Taurus, Capricorn to Virgo. All three of those are Earth. So what aspect is that? That's a trion, okay? And then down here to this, we go one more, Capricorn to Leo and Gemini. Doesn't get along that well, fire and air with earth. That's our quincunx, or it's also called an inconjunct, and then 150 degrees. And then opposite, Capricorn to Cancer, there's our 180 degree. Okay, so I have gone, I think I've given you plenty to think about. Oh, and there's our bells. It must be time to end the class. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. And just really, think this through. Listen to this again. Look at your own chart. Start, maybe redraw your chart physically. I really think that eye-hand coordination stuff and actually physically drawing the glyphs and such can really help you to learn. Okay, so just remember, from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. And next time we're going to start transits. Woo! That's the real fun stuff. Okay, thank you guys. Bye.